Hey gamers, Anthony from HashNet here, and today we will be reviewing the Palworld Early Access. For the purposes of this review, I played the game under three different lenses. First, I played on PC with the default game settings. Second, I played on the Xbox Series S with the default game settings. Finally, I played with what is known as the Custom Easy Mode game settings. Also keep in mind that this game may be in its early access launch for quite a while, so we are reviewing it as it is now. When Palworld launched its early access, I first played it on the normal settings via PC, then on Xbox Series S. There was no cross progression, so I was switching between devices. Just like with Pokemon, I got hooked immediately, so much so that I lost track of time during that first week. I could not get enough of the usually Pokemon-style play loop of catching pals. With that said, I'm also a huge fan of city building games, and adding that mechanic created an addiction so palpable that one of my coworkers became tired of me talking about it. After that first week, I felt like I was not progressing fast enough. I was near level 20 and felt like the faucet of new pals to catch and items to build had become a slow trickle. As a result, I created a custom easy mode on the Xbox and only played that device. The speed of progress and the godlike build that I gave my character made the game multitudes more entertaining. The problem is that the challenge was gone. I reached level 46 within a few days, but it was a blur until the 4th Xbox version update. After the update, I would crash inside dungeons, but it started with a known save bug. I was close to level 50 and had loaded into the game with periodic saving errors. After about a half hour hoping it would resolve, I closed and reopened the game. It seemed to have worked, and I did not encounter that bug again. But now we get to the dungeons. Some special pals can only be obtained in dungeons. Some of the dungeons are randomly generated with some rather difficult maps. I do not know if the crashes were based on the amount of time I spent in the dungeons or some other matter, but I never experienced the issue on the PC version. A later patch had seemingly resolved the problem on Xbox. Due to work, I had not had the time to progress much further. I was able to defeat 3 of the bad guy leaders and catch some of the later stage pals. I have yet to encounter any of the new pals promoted by Pocketpair in the May 2024 announcement, but let us break down some of my additional thoughts on the game. First, the tutorial is a checklist. It is very basic, and during my first playthrough, I had no idea what it was asking. It really needs more context and perhaps a little hand-holding, something akin to the professor teaching players how to catch in Pokemon. As I had mentioned before, I love the game loop, the catching and the building and the battling in real time and the feeling of survival, something that I usually do not like. I hate when a character I am playing gets hungry, let alone its pets. It was the only negative that I had for Red Dead Redemption 2. However, the inventory system in Palworld makes it less of a burden. Plus, as a player goes along, everything they do gains some experience. There is no overarching story. Players really have to make their own fun by exploring. There are some subtle story elements, and as players explore, they kind of pick them up, but nothing that makes the world feel whole. The creation of cloth, gunpowder, and other materials should always be available as an option to make, even if a player does not have the appropriate bench or conveyor belt. That way they can plan ahead with material gathering for future manufacturing. Something that Pokemon does not do very much of is its type variations of the same species. Sure, they have regional variations like a ground-type Sandslash and an ice-type Sandslash, but Palworld does it more within the same world, and they count as a wholly separate entry in the PAL decks. I do not like raids, PAL attacks, or corpses. Sure, players can prepare for raids and PAL attacks in later levels, but in the early game when they have so little of an understanding of the play mechanics, those losses can be a huge turnoff. Personally, I would like to see the level in which raids and attacks occur be at least after reaching level 15 rather than 5. Speaking of which, I felt some slowdown with all of the corpses from the raiders and aggressive pals just lingering about. They really need to fade out of existence faster. Palworld is more than just Pokemon with guns. While it does not have a solid driving force behind what players are doing, if they are self-motivated, it is a fun game. Players begin as a shipwrecked pal tamer and start from the beginning building their empire. While its design, mechanics, and sound is simple, that is just part of its charm. Tell me in the comments your thoughts on this video. Did you like what you saw, and how was your experience with it? Thanks for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe.